Imagine waking up one day to discover that the price of your beloved Chinese SUV has doubled, or worse, that they are no longer available at any dealerships. That could be closer than you anticipate, given the recent tariffs that have rattled the world economy. Everything about Chinese SUVs, from their price to their sales to their global future, could be altered by these increasing tariffs. And we're going to consider that today. Let's dive right in. What exactly are these tariffs? Let's address that first. 100% tariff has been imposed on electric vehicles and SUVs from China, according to a recent announcement by the US government. A 25% tariff was already in place for the Chinese automobiles prior to this. But now, even before they reach American territory, they're effectively subjected to taxes that are twice as high as the original price. This kind of action is occurring in countries other than the US as well. Leaders in Europe are also contemplating a rise in levies. European automakers are concerned that the low prices of Chinese vehicles are threatening their industry. It appears that this tariff issue is becoming a worldwide phenomenon. Everybody is looking out for their own automaker. What does this imply for pricing in practice now? For the sake of argument, let's suppose that a Chinese SUV cost about $70,000 before taxes. That identical SUV may see a price increase of $80,000 or $90,000 under the new regulations. It is all due to taxes. This is not due to the SUV's unexpected upgrade with diamond seats and gold wheels. Why? Because the government mandates it. Moreover, the revised pricing positions Chinese SUVs on par with American and Japanese powerhouses like the Highlander and Explorer. These are vehicles that are well-known and reliable. Consequently, consumers will now pose a challenging inquiry to themselves. Why wouldn't I just reinvest in a reliable Toyota or Ford if the price is the same? At that point, the situation becomes problematic for Chinese brands. Chinese automakers BYD, Chery, and Geely are currently dominating markets throughout the globe. Each year, they sell millions of automobiles. Their SUVs are more affordable than the well-known brands, and they're quick and fashionable too. What might change quickly, though, is if tariffs create a sharp spike in their pricing. Particularly in the United States, neither BYD nor Chery are household names in the United States. Their childhood was filled with Fords, Chevys, Toyotas, and Hondas. Therefore, most consumers would not choose a brand new BYD SUV over a Honda CR-V if the two brands were priced similarly. No matter what, they'll always choose the Honda. This is also known by dealerships. Many dealerships may choose not to carry Chinese SUVs if they become too pricey, and consumers still have doubts about their reliability. Why bring more unwanted vehicles to your lot if they would only sit there and collect dust? It is extremely difficult for new brands to gain traction after dealerships lose interest. Not only in the United States, but all across the world. Across the pond, the EU has spent months looking into Chinese SUVs and electric vehicles. Concerns about the dominance of low-priced Chinese vehicles over domestic brands like BMW, Volkswagen, and Puego are shared by both countries. Europe will probably follow suit and increase duties soon as well. While it may not be 100%, it is high enough to significantly hinder the expansion of Chinese brands. Several South American nations, as well as Australia and South Africa, are keeping a careful eye on the situation. A strong example could be set if the United States and Europe increase tariffs. Large markets tend to spur smaller ones to take action. Therefore, Chinese SUVs are facing restrictions from more than simply a couple of nations. The path ahead is becoming more uneven all throughout the planet. We can move on to discussing the most troubled Chinese brands now. The major player is BYD. They've been preparing to deliver SUVs like the BYD Tang and the Atto 3 to driveways in the US and Europe, and they're currently the biggest electric car company in the world. One more is Chery. If tariffs lead their prices to spike, their main selling point, affordable SUVs that regular people can buy, will vanish into thin air. Since Geely already has manufacturing outside China and owns Volvo and Polestar, they might have a tiny edge. The tariff pain will still be particularly felt by SUVs that are pure Geely brands. It will be particularly challenging for relatively new brands like NIO and XPeng. Their reputation is still being built. Plus, when costs aren't significantly lower than those of well-known brands like Ford and Toyota, it's quite difficult to get consumers to try a brand they've never heard of. Can we expect Chinese businesses to do nothing while this takes place? Not at all. A few businesses are already making rapid progress. Additional manufacturing facilities are being constructed in nations such as Thailand, Mexico, and Hungary. To get around these terrible tariffs, the plan is simple. Manufacture the vehicles somewhere other than China. Another strategy is to form collaborative ventures with local brands. This allows them to enter markets more covertly. Aiming higher is another astute move by Chinese companies. They're branching out from making affordable SUVs to making high-end ones. A few $1,000s more due to tariffs doesn't seem like much of a problem if the car already costs $50,000. Luxury vehicles are often perceived as being more costly. However, let me explain. Building new factories, signing new deals, and changing brand perceptions will take years, even with all these tactics. A lot of pain will be felt by Chinese SUV manufacturers in the near future. So who benefits and who suffers from this whole mess? The large automakers from the US, Japan, and Europe are victorious. At the moment, everyone is taking it easy, including Ford, GM, Tesla, Toyota, Honda, and Volkswagen. They will be able to retain consumers and maintain good prices if the market is not inundated with inexpensive Chinese SUVs. Without a doubt, the Chinese automakers are in the losing camp. However, ordinary people who were anticipating less expensive choices are also disappointed. In most cases, consumers benefit from increased competition as a result of lower prices and higher quality. Every consumer, regardless of brand loyalty, will likely see a rise in price when competition is low. So, how will Chinese SUVs fare in the global market in the years to come? Things are going to be tough in the near future. Imposing higher tariffs will hinder the rapid expansion of Chinese brands by reducing sales and earnings. However, things may alter in the distant future. Chinese businesses are quick on their feet and very intelligent. In order to weather this storm, they have already begun constructing factories abroad and forming partnerships with local firms. There will be plenty of Chinese SUVs on the road in 5 or 10 years. They may no longer be manufactured in China. Potential origins include Mexico, Brazil, Hungary, and other nations. We still have a ways to go. For Chinese SUVs, these additional taxes are essentially a huge speed bump. Because of them, progress is being slowed, rival companies are being rattled, and strategies are being rethought by all parties involved. There will be fewer options for consumers, sales will fall, and prices will go up in the near future. However, keep that in mind. The worldwide race for automobiles is still ongoing. It may even be starting a new chapter. In your opinion, will Chinese SUVs continue to dominate the market even if tariffs are raised? We can't wait to hear your opinions, so please share them in the comments section. Like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next video.